chatty sometimes. Connects and disconnects. So it's nice to have free internet at home, but when it doesn't work so good, it's no good. I don't know if they unplugged me, but I'm probably pretty sure that it was just because I moved the computer under the car and got it all dirty. But anyways, I took a little bit of a lunch break and just finished screwing in that plate, so I haven't really moved much further forward, other than I wish I could live stream from the phone. I was in just down the street there and heard a woodpecker and got a really good, a decent looking footage or a decent shot out of it. This phone's really good actually for recording. Even at a close-up range, the thing is you need to keep it super still. So you got to pretty much put the phone on the ground and then it'll just focus in on everything. It's insane. But if you're holding it, it's constantly trying to stabilize. You can tell it's doing the image stabilization big time. But so I'm pretty impressed with it. That was one of the selling points when I bought the phone, was just the clarity of the picture. Like when he showed me it, just the showroom, showing me the showroom, it was amazing. But anyways, I gotta get to work here. So try and do more work and less talk. Whatever. Okay, so you're just balancing on the lawnmower. And open that. So window a little bit so it shuts easier. So I'm just checking my oil. This car is weird. I don't know if it's the computer going, what's going on. Like, it is a rebuild, but on the dash it says that I have a defective light. So that was another reason why I went around and changed all the lights. I put LED lights in the back, changed the bulbs for the bulbs that I was able to find. I wasn't able to get bulbs for everything, and I still have a few more bulbs to order, like the reverse lights and whatnot. So I put in LED bulbs. Change these front ones, obviously. You saw me change the bottom ones. I saw a resistor in the old setup, and I think it's gone because I think it was actually the resistor was part of the lights. So it's still saying defective light inside. I should actually check it right now and see if it's still doing it. But beyond that, it's saying that, giving me a warning that my oil level's too high. And if my oil level's too high, typically it will smoke out the back. It'll burn it right off. But I can't see why. Well, I can't. Never mind. I didn't do the oil change. We'll just say that. What was I doing? Another thing about Mercedes, pretty sure this model, yeah, you can't check your transmission fluid level. If I can pop this cap off, that's all it is. It's just a cap. Like, that's insane. So you can't check your own transmission fluid while the vehicle's running. That's bullshit. Sorry for swearing, but come on. I shouldn't have to pay top dollar just for somebody to check my freaking transmission and then check everything else and tell me that there's another 5 problems wrong. Oh yeah. Still says last effect. Everything is working. All the lights are working fine. I turned it on. So I guess there's things I'm not going to be able to show you unless I turn the phone on and we live stream that way, and I can pull the computer out to the car. That's a bummer. So live streaming at home is very limited. That sucks. This light's good. It's a good one. Sure, that's the it's clearly broken. Right. Looking good. I like seeing that all of the lights work. Just want to check my oil, see if it's good. So, not sure if you guys can tell. I don't want to get the computer all oily, but to me, it looks like the oil level is right there. It's slightly less thick, or is actually a little bit dry there, and those four, like it looks more dry. So that's where your oil level would be for you youngsters. So mine's on there, like you can see the thick part. So about four rings in, and your oil should be somewhere in between there. This is, it actually says on here, now that I clean it off, for you youngsters, not everybody, but it says minimum on this one and maximum on this side. Darn light trunk. Car is shining, and that's gonna hurt the eyes, the eyeball. The sun's coming up. The sun.
Oh, your car is down?
Hey?
Your car?
Oh, just getting it ready for business.
Oh, yeah. YouTuber right now.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. keep reading.
Alright, so the oil should be between that minimum and maximum line. It shouldn't be at the top or the bottom. If it's at the top, then it means you got too much oil. If it's at the bottom, you don't have enough. So that being like 3/4 of the way up, telling me my oil is good. But yeah, my car is giving me a warning saying that I've got to check my oil level. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta get one of those sensor things again and check. I had another Mercedes and ended up giving away the little computer module, the code reader. And now I gotta buy another one. It's like $75 or something. So it's kind of a bummer. And then my trunk, I gotta figure this thing out. Because there's a button inside, and there's a button on my key. So I push the button. It's not working. But I think there's a way you can actually lock it or unlock it. And I just haven't figured out which one's locked and which one's unlocked. Because I know I can do that, and it opens. But oh yeah, no, it's not good. Like I can see the red light going off, so I can hear the lock skipping in the gear when I turn it to the left. You can hear the buttons coming up. So I don't know. When I turn it to the left, that's when it will, I can push to open. But there's a button inside the car and a button here. And somehow I've deactivated it. And I figured out how to reactivate it once and then wasn't able to make it happen again. That'll better view the darn sun. God, my freaking. Oh, are you back? Oh my god. I can't leave certain spots. Ridiculous. Trying to get the sun out of the camera. Okay. How can you MacGyver this? Alright. That worked, but I don't know for how long, so I need to find something for that stick. That's magic. That's what you call magic. I just licked the back of the paper and stuck it to the computer. It will fall off. I have tape in the house. I'll run. No,
sitting up was nice. What do we got in here? Little box. Heavy box. Hey. He saw me grabbing his tool. Didn't look too happy. Just trying to get it up a little bit. All right, safety bag. Got hand warmers in here because I used to work in the cold. They're good. Hand or toe warmers. You can put them in your gloves or you can put them on your socks. And yeah, up to 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours they work. And they'll keep you toasty. They work good. I recommend them. So I got a whole bunch of packs. I got those on sale. Got an air horn. You never know. You could be out in the bush or you need to scare something off. You never know when you've got to just sound the alarm just to let everybody know that something's not right. So got an air horn. Right. Got some gloves just in case there's any kind of work. This is everything that, a lot of this is part of the kit. I think I added the horn and this, like the hand warmers. But otherwise, so gloves. There used to be batteries in there, obviously. Got a pencil in here. So pencil, gloves, hand warmers. One of these silver blankets. These are amazing. You wrap yourself up in that, even though it's that thin, like it's paper thin. It's like a silver, like an aluminum blanket. That's a safety blanket. That'll keep you toasty warm. It does wonders. And so then this kit comes with jumper cables. So I actually have 2 sets of jumper cables. I always run around with extra. There's a spout just in case you need to, dump fuel into your tank. I believe this is a glow stick. It's got a green button on it, or a green sticker, so it's a glow stick. There's a candle, keep you lit so that you can see things, and will also keep you warm if you're in the cold. So if it's really cold out, you're gonna need quite a few, but if it's not too bad, you can still sit in the car with this in the middle of it. Try not to knock it over. It's best to have a plate or put it somewhere on the floor, somewhere solid, and let the heat rise from the bottom anyways, right? Let it rise up. So yeah, you can keep yourself warm. Light, they got matches. Typically in cadets or any outdoor enthusiasts, they'll tell you take all of these out and switch them back and forth so that the heads aren't rubbing against each other and they won't start a fire, because these can actually ignite each other. Now these ones are looking shiny. They have a shiny head, so I'm kind of worried. I don't know. Maybe they're expired. I do have some more. Oops. So self-striking, I'm pretty sure you can do it on a zipper if you had to. But yeah, at least you have a way to light your candle. But if they get wet, you're kind of done. There are waterproof ones, and these are waterproof. That's probably why they're shiny. Okay. And then the striker pad. You can get flints, but here's a striker pad. Antifreeze for your gas line. If you are in the Arctic and you're in the cold, gas line antifreeze is definitely something to have. You don't want your fuel lines freezing. It's a very small cable like that with a little load of fuel going through it, and if there's any kind of water or anything in there, it freezes up and it's no good. So I got some extra hand warmers. So that just keeps you started in the winter time. Call police. I don't know why they put that in there. Call police. Fine. And then first aid survival. So there's band-aids in here and alcohol wipes. Then there's a little roll of duct tape. I don't know if I threw that in there or if it was in there already, part of the kit. And at the bottom of it all, add another wool blanket to keep you warm. So wrap yourself up in this and this silver blanket, or vice versa, whatever's more comfortable for you. But you have the option to have a combination, or there's two of them. But if there's two of you, it's best to huddle together. Usually, not preferably, but usually, quite possibly preferably, naked is better than with clothes on, because your heat will transfer to one another a lot quicker rather than through clothing. The transfer of body energy is much quicker, skin to skin. So that's my little survival kit. I do have flares, but not here. So I might have to get them to send those out as well if they can find a set of my flares, which shouldn't be a hard thing to do, but it's just a matter of getting in touch with her and making sure I get everything. Or I can try and find some flares here. They're just little safety triangles for in front and behind. You're going to want to have 6 of them at best. The flare kit only comes with 3, so technically you need 2 flare kits. And I think a flare kit is like $200. They come in a red box, and there's 3 triangles, and I've got 2 boxes. So I was going to make a trip out there for Thanksgiving, but I can't afford it. Should vacuum this thing out. It's brutal. I don't know why I got all these bags in here, but they're leaving. There's some coveralls that need to be returned. So if you don't have a vest, this could be the next best option. A full suit. It's a full suit. Overalls. I gotta return those. They're not mine. So there's one of the headrests for the car. Not really necessary to have it out. So slow stop sign. Slow stop. So you never know when you need to warn people or stop people. Wash your fluid. It's always good to carry extra fluids around here. It rains a lot, so not nearly as necessary as Alberta. And then I always carry at least 4 of these. Even though I have a car, I still carry these, and they still come in handy. Unfortunately, I brought some garbage home the other day. Now I need to make it disappear. I'm sure my little one's not impressed. That's what I stuck in my little pouches. Car does have a tire iron. It came with one. Oh, the car is shining on you. A little bit better. Not as reflective. So then there's a tire iron that the car did come with. And it does fit. But like I was saying earlier, that leverage compared to that leverage is quite a bit different. So now when it's in there, you've got something to hold and stabilize, and you can put your weight on this. With this, it's in, simply in, and you don't have a whole lot of leverage. Look at the size of it, right? So I like one of these because it's multi-head. You can help other people out if you have to, but a lot of it is the leverage. I want to be able to get on there and reef on it, you know? I really want to have control of what's going on, and I don't with this. But it stays in the car because it's part of the car. Looks like there's some lug nuts down there. And so I can grab onto things a lot easier if it's wet. Stuffed a bunch of stuff. Oh, look what I got. Another set of jumper cables. Never have to. Never have enough. But that's not what I'm getting at. I actually have a real tow rope. So I don't need that cheap thing that I showed you earlier. That is a tow rope. Okay. So the difference between this one and the other one obviously is this one is round. Right? And it acts more like a spring. So the vehicle in front can yank, and this will act like an elastic more or less with the vehicles and stretch out and then act to pull out the vehicle in the ditch rather than just a sharp, hard pull with that flat sling or that flat one that I was showing you earlier. That flat sling, it can literally rip at the eyes in a heartbeat, and then it's done. And pooch. I've pooched them before I even pull the vehicle out. Pooch does mean they're done. Like there's no more life to them. They're dead. I killed them. It's not happening. So then I carry some brake fluid in my vehicle because brakes are very important. If you can't stop, doesn't matter how fast you can go. Doesn't matter how fast your car is. If you can't stop, you're dead. I don't know. It's just the way I think. So, guys got some wires in here. It's still plugged in. That's quite possibly why I'm getting interruptions. That's not grounded out properly. That'll create issues. Where's that black tape? It's good to have this stuff. Black tape for one, but this wire is great. I can always add in a stereo system. It has this big fuse on here that I was telling you guys about for stereo fuses. So I could actually use this today to hook up my inverter because it's already plugged into the battery itself. So that's that big fuse. The fuse isn't in there, it's popped out. Actually, there is no fuse at all. Burnt out. So, all I need is a fuse. The power and the negative are all wired in. It's for the stereo that was in there once before. It's kind of sweet. You know, I don't have to cut up anything. Let's use this. I don't plan on putting any stereo in here. It's silly expensive for children. Alrighty. So we're gonna have to run down to our local hardware store. Canada, we call it Canadian Tire. Or is it Crappy Tire? Oh. It doesn't want to go back together. So, fight with you right now. I got better things to deal with. A bunch of cool electrical trays in this car. There's spare space down here still. Not enough for the inverter. So there's a jack in here, my spare tire. I carry some bungee cords as well. A few different sizes. I got, half a dozen of those in here. Well, 4 it looks like. That's another thing to tie things down with. It's very important that all loads are secured. You don't want anything flying around, making noise, banging into things. Oops, that was busted. I got a broken piece in there somewhere. Shit. Better find that before I cut myself in the future. Forgetting that it was there. Of course, it breaks apart in a whole bunch of pieces. Glass shards everywhere. Casey. Alright, I think I got it all. Just 2 little pieces. Put everything back together like that. Take it out, put it together. Take it out, put it together. Seems to be a common thing with me. Make great work for myself, huh? Silly boy. Okay. Inverter. So it would be nice to mount this in here permanently, but where do you do that? So that's a nice spot, but then it covers that whole cubby hole of mine. Then I could just take all that stuff out of the cubby hole and drop it right down in there. And then it has its own little hole to sit in. That would be nice. Kind of like it's meant to be, because it's pretty close to the exact same size. So basically I just have to bolt these cables to it, and then it would just drop right down in there because there's enough cable here to play with to be able to do that. My fuse would be right on top, so it wouldn't be getting crushed with how it's sitting here. I think it's actually out about 4 inches, so if it went back down, I still have the play. I would just see the fuse as a bend right there. That would look pretty good actually, because I'd be able to see it. All right, pull everything out again. I think so. I like it. Put this stuff elsewhere. I can hide it just where I was looking right 2 minutes earlier. That's for how often I actually use this stuff. It can just stay hidden. And I usually only use 2 anyways. I always like to be prepared, so I always carry extra of everything. Just always kind of been like that. Doesn't matter if it was at work or at home. Even when I was a kid, I used to carry a backpack with all kinds of junk in it everywhere I went. I was always prepared for anything. Always had food. Always had something on the go. Never a dull moment hanging out with me. Not in those days. Alright, put those in there. I'll just put them in with the tow rope. This car's rigged up like it would be a truck. Good. Noise on you. Okay, what else can I? Actually, do I really need them? We've already got a set in that bag. But that's a brand new set. And these ones are out. So keep the brand new set as a emergency backup. And they'll still fit right where they want. With the tow rope. Okay, that's situated. Let's see how this works in there. So it'd be great because I can still have my plugins right on top. There's still the power button function on top. So all that's going to be down there is the fan and the power connections. And I do have covers for these, so just gonna pull them out. They're somewhere around here. But it is all fabric down there, so that being said, we still don't want rubbing. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna go sideways with it. There's going to be enough room to hook up my cables here, and I'll still have enough room to plug in devices right there. And it keeps it a shorter route, actually, to the inside of the car. Because the plug-in will be coming out from the cab and then directly in, rather than coming out and then up and over. So I'll save myself like another 6 to 8 inches on any electrical piece that goes in there. Oops. Not too bright, yeah. Still too bright. So that's not too bad. I'm not gonna complain about that. Sure is a lot of glare. So I left the garage open. Looks like the kids are gone. They're gone. And, starts off. Let's get a visitor. Somebody else to the other side. Okay, so that just sits in there. That's going to be nice and tough. That's going to be solid. So I really don't have to do anything to that. I can put one screw in right there just to hold it, but really it's not going anywhere else. I could put one screw in there, make that work. No problem. Just gonna find one first. Okay, so I just gotta go to the store, get a fuse. Simple. That saves me a lot of work of just cutting and putting everything in. Got wires already there. Gotta like it. There's stereo cable. So generally these are pretty high end. Still fairly thick. Not as thick as a jumper cable, obviously, but it'll be adequate. Everything will fit in there just primo. So much of that. There's a lot of cable there. So I'll be able to hide that. Be able to work with it and play with it nicely. Just gotta get the piece. Just hold that together right now. Slowly, and then I just gotta put the fuse on and good. Good to go. The way I've always done this in the past is split it. So I put the positive on one side and the negative on the other side. You'll see there's a positive, negative, positive, negative. I guess we could always check the instructions online before we get too carried away with that, just to make sure we're doing it right. Wherever my phone is. Where's the phone? In the house. Okay. Phone was in the house. I have somebody there. We're still connected. Great. We're doing good. Other than the light, so much glare coming down this way. I noticed that when I used to film with the iPhone around here too. It's just the direction of the sun that really gives it a hazy look around here. It does look hazy a little bit, but I think it's just how the sun points. So we're gonna look up eliminator, the Motor Master eliminator. Probably inverter installation. So Motor Master eliminator inverter. And then I'll type install. Okay, somebody else has done a YouTube on it. quick setup for a MotoMaster Eliminator 3000 watt inverter. It's got a 14-minute video. Is it really that? Hey, we'll subscribe to him. I'm not subscribed. I subscribe to everyone.
So I recently purchased this 3000 watt MotoMaster Eliminator digital power inverter. The purpose was to convert energy stored in my battery into electricity that can be used by the appliance. And the inverter is the main thing that you need in order to make that happen. This is probably, this is overpowered for what I'm doing right now. I'm only drawing 60 watts. This is 3000 watts. We could have a battery bank here hooked up in parallel, not series. And then drawing, running multiple appliances off of this and for a long period of time. And also charging off of that battery bank with the same, let's say, a solar panel. But let's keep things simple. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut this down and then show you how to put things together. So to shut it down,
I was only gonna hook 2
I
cables
have
up.
this remote
That's all I've ever done before.
or switch, I guess you could call it. And that turned everything off. I'm also just going to shut this light off. So when I start it again. Oh, here's the box. And I will point out that there's this little bonus sticker on it. Some of the boxes didn't have that. I don't know. I don't think some of them come with these cables, which are required to get this up and running. So
Well, I got 2 more cables. I can always wire it in just like that.
This particular brand of inverter.
Anyways,
Typically, people are buying these inverters at 40 to 50% off. I got it at 40% off for $240 before tax. You can pay a lot more than that for a 3000 watt inverter if you want to go.
so you just put positive and a positive from the positive to the battery, and there's a negative and a negative, and you just went from both of those to the battery. I can very easily do the exact same. Right? That's all it is. Pretty simple. Because the battery post only has 1 positive, right? And 1 negative. So you know there's 2 on there. That's all. Just going right back to the same place. Of course. These aren't actually the right size. I gotta try and stretch them out. So I just take them at the bottom, squeeze it, and yank to the side, make it a Y. Try to do it at the lowest possible point so that you get the most out of it. So that young guy that was by earlier, he was walking down the street with a lawnmower and his tools and looking for work, obviously trying to get himself into business. But the thing is, with people around here, they've already got people hired. I remember those days. I've done similar things. There was one kid that I saw. He was really smart about it though. Like coming at this time of year with the lawnmower, summer's over. I guess it doesn't really hurt because around here, the lawn needs to be mowed any time of year. But it's a little bit of a upper scale neighborhood, so people tend to hire people out of the phone book or internet. I guess nowadays, phone book isn't used nearly as much as what it once was. Kind of like the newspaper, it's not read nearly as much as it once was. That's why newspapers are starting to die out, which is quite unfortunate. I know some good guys in that business, but it is what it is. I've even seen mechanics hook it up with just one cable, so I don't know. I think that guy's going a little bit excessive with it, but I would say you only really have to hook up 4 cables if you're running 2 batteries or more. Then you need to run a circuit. But otherwise, power is going to go, plus is going to go all the way through, and the negative is going to come out this way, and that's that. Okay, this isn't working on that side. Oh, man. It's always more of a chore once everything is a tray of wrenches is in the house. When this doesn't fit properly, it's always more of a chore. I don't think I have the big yellow ones. The big yellow electrical connectors, they're the biggest, widest loop. So we're just gonna have to make do with what's on here. I've got it on for the most part, just tightening it down. Of course, I brought out all my other tools except for my wrenches, which I knew I needed. So, just a little bit silly on that. Alright, got that threaded back in. So usually you would put this on the side where the washer and the lock nut are, but I can't get a good, doesn't seem like I can get a good bite. So, gotta go this route. I don't go get my wrenches. So typically I'd rather, well, that sun is brutal. I'd rather roll around with me all the time than to not have any tools, period. Because you just never know what's going to happen and when, and then you see how I'm running back and forth for stuff all day. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So if all my tools are with my car, I don't have to run around all the time. But it's a lot lighter to travel without them, so it helps with the fuel economy. It's not like I'm using them every day. Car's not breaking accident on the side of the road, so. But I just like being prepared, I guess. That's what you could say. So I've got two different style wrenches here. That's handy to have. So these ones bite quite a bit different. Obviously, this only bites so much. Now, I had a guy at work that invented some tools where this was a ratchet piece and you could actually unlock it, take the piece right out, and then take that ratchet piece out if it was attached to a cable or something, and then spin it to the point where it was free again. But things didn't go so well. He kind of wasn't really a leader, and then he kind of snapped at me because he wasn't the foreman and he wasn't there to make choices. And well, then jump on the phone, buddy. You wear the earmuffs all day long and you can jump on the phone and talk to the foreman. But I'm trying to help out and make the crew work and keep us all going, and I'm gonna get the crap. See, whatever. I'm not dealing with that, and if that's how you're gonna act towards me, how are you gonna act when it comes time to do business? I would just rather go into business for myself, by myself, because dealing with others can be bothersome sometimes. Is that a different size? You learn this over time, working with many people. You're gonna get along with and you're not, and then you can just tell by some people that they've got this whole initiative, they got a certain idea and it's great, but most people that I've run into, they want me to do all the work for them and not in the business. So quite unfortunate how some people think. Try to take advantage of other people so that they can get ahead, but don't want to take you with them. Oh well. My problem. Well, that one got on a lot better than this one. We did stretch it out a little bit differently. Kind of worried there. My landlord's husband didn't look too impressed. Neither one of them did. Let's see what happens. They don't have a YouTube channel. I don't know if they watch it. I doubt it. But doesn't matter. I don't make things work one way or another. If it's this business or getting a job or something somewhere else. It will work. Gone through things many times before in life. Things always work out. No, just gonna take one. I can't test this out because I don't have a fuse. Extra cables. I haven't done it like that before. I've just always done it like this and it worked fine. So that's that. Pretty straightforward. There's caps that could have gone on, but they went to another somewhere. They'll probably bust anyways. They're just plastic. We'll just put some black tape around it. Beef it up with some more black tape. So if it's rubbing on something down there, it's not ripping through. And well, connections are being touched from steel to steel. So the reason why I would be worried with what the look and their thoughts and feelings is that they own a restaurant. But that's the thing about restaurant business. I've seen it. Some restaurants will thrive and survive, and others will sit there right beside it or across the street from it and starve. The restaurant business is very funny like that. And I'm not dealing with just one restaurant. I'm dealing with multiple franchises that are very well established. Amongst whatever else is out there. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. I just gotta get out there. So it seems to be going fairly quickly so far with all the Skip&Dash stuff, so I think we'll be up and running here in the next day or two. By the looks of it, which is perfect for me. I'd prefer to be up and running by tomorrow, personally. This will be installed, so I'll have power for my car. Be able to keep the laptop charged up. And if this isn't fully installed, I still have the reciprocal for the 12-volt plug-in and the cigarette adapter. The thing about it is that my gear shifter is right in the way for something as bulky as it, so it's kind of a pain in the ass and a pain in the butt. So that's why I'm going this way, because to have that 12-volt piece stick out as bulky as it is, and then have the end of the plug-in from the computer plugged into it, it's just going to be too much. And it's going to drive me nuts every time I go to change gears from park to drive. It's not like I'm driving standard. I don't mind driving standard, but it's the whole being comfortable in your office thing. So that's another thing why I do this, get my vehicles rigged up to the point where I'm comfortable with power and have the accessories that I'm looking for. Because yeah, I could drive around like everybody else in a regular bummy old vehicle, but I want to be able to have my accessories with me so that I can have, a little bit more of the comforts of home with me. And so I'm spending hours in here. I plan on spending like 16, 18 hours a day in here. You saw me yesterday going from Starbucks to Starbucks, so I did 15 hours doing that, right? So, and I still had energy. So, I can very easily do long shifts as long as I can game them through the app, for one. But by working multiple apps, it would be more beneficial. And then, the next way I see it is, do you want to sit in the cubicle in this great big giant office building, or do you want to sit in the corner office with a nice windows where you can see out, you see all the busyness of people, you can gaze on up beyond, daydream to your heart's content, or you can sit in that cubicle eating life, not looking at anything, enjoying anything in your surroundings, and hate life, and hate your job, and hate going to work. So, I'd rather the corner office. So I got, some nice luxuries that go with this, which is kind of nice, a little bit spoiled, but goes for me. And I got, having the heated leather seats is a big thing. I really enjoy that. It means a lot to me. This is an older car, so quite fortunate to get it. But then now being able to plug in my computer, anything else, like you could plug in a microwave to one of these. Probably have to have 2 batteries in it. But it's supposed to be able to run all your household appliances. I mean, those 2 look really good, and these 2 look funny. Alrighty, so now the ends are all taped up and protected. I have to rip them apart. Put on positive negative again on that other one so that I can get more juice out of it. But for what I'm doing, this is going to be lots. All I'm trying to do is run my computer. I'm not trying to run a TV and freaking video games and everything else like once upon a time. In my vehicle, I'm talking about. That might go a little bit more overboard. That's good. Sweet little install. Super quick. Everything tucks away right down here. Nicely. This one, I just need to buy that piece. Good to go. There you go. So that one doesn't even have to be up there if you keep the fuse down below. So we'll keep it up there so that's not touching anything here. So we can drive to. Phone's trying to hide on me. Okay. So, safety kit. Check. Tire iron. I'm have to put that somewhere different now. Tire iron. Still sitting here. Stop sign. Just like that. Perfect. Hide everything. Okay. Fluids. Throw a cubby hole is nice, but kept the fluids tight, not bouncing around. I'll get a crate for that. I've got one in the house, but I can get a better one. Okay, I'm putting the blankets in because that's for the girlfriend when we go on picnics. Overalls, safety. More safety stuff, right? My vest. The coveralls aren't mine. Some gloves. A bag in here just in case. You don't know why. You never know. The eliminator button. So I can actually turn this thing on or off. Wire that into the front of the car. Just string it through. And then hide it inside of the. I'll hide it inside of the little glove box beside me, the console. Miscellaneous bags. Well, best place that these basically gonna be on the front seat. So I want to keep the food as these on the front seat for now. And I do have an electric. Would be another reason why I would have to upgrade the power on the inverter is if I do bring that heater pad in. But my thought was I'll just wait for a check or two and then I'll go to the Hudson's Bay online, obviously, probably, most likely, or somewhere where I can go through Rakuten and get my percentage of cash back and order up the blanket going up over the back and along the bottom, and then I can wrap it up and over the food and keep the toasty hot, nice and warm. So for now, these are just gonna go on the front seat. And that'll be their home for now, I guess, until we get other things situated. So there's really not a lot more. I've got a few socks in there. Oh, insole. But yeah, so the inverter was the main thing. I gotta go get a fuse now to be able to check this out, make sure that it works, and then I can plug in this wire, and then all I have to do is run my power cord from my computer into the car. So basically, it's gonna be a pain in the butt until I get a second one. So I might actually go to Best Buy. So I think they're about $35-$45, and I might actually go and buy another one of those. And then thinking about ordering up 3 shirts. So I got 3 red shirts, and then I look professional, and we're done. I'll be back. Okay, so I just gotta clean up this mess. So yeah, I need to get my flares ordered up from my friends and my laptop mount, and that'll be it. I'll have flares in here. The trunk's got a lot more stuff than I want to have in it, but you gotta have safety gear. It's very important. And then I'll have the laptop mounted inside the front so that I can actually mount my accessories there. And I gotta move my phone mount so that it's not in my vision, through the window. So I'm gonna try and stick it so it's right underneath the mirror. But once I get the laptop mount, then I can mount my phone actually to the laptop mount as well. And then nothing's attached to the window. Everything's secure. The cops won't bother me because we're complying with all the rules and regulations, right? So that's the main thing. We want to be safe. Well, yeah, cell phone booster. I didn't think of that. So I don't know if it's completely necessary. Like I said, I don't want to have. There's no antenna on this car. Nothing sticking out of the car. So this is gonna look very 90s. Like, can you see that thing? That's gonna look very 90s. to have an antenna like that showing. I'm not really into it. So I can pull it on and off because there is this magnet that comes with it, right? I can put this magnet on the car anywhere, so I don't have to hard mount it. And we can just do a trial run. So that's what I'm gonna do first, I guess, is I'll hook this up when we're out and about in Victoria. It's not gonna be necessary because we're running at 5G. The only thing that it might help with is if I get between some buildings or some high trees or something, I might get a little bit extra boost. But 2 or 3 other ones, I know there's a black ball, and then there's another one with the black ball, an extension with 3 wings. And I had that one. It's a kind of a pricey antenna to have, and I sold it with my gold. Unfortunate. I should have swapped it out for this one and taken that other one, but this one does fit nicely in the little pouch that it comes with, so that's probably why I kept this one. And if I really need that other big one, then yeah, I can get another one, but in the city I don't think it's necessary. This will be more than enough. So we'll do a little trial, but it's more for if you're on bush roads or in the mountains, something like that, where you start losing weakness. If you start getting down to like 2 or 3 bars, you can plug this in and you'll be right back up to 5 bars. This is a Wilson cell phone booster, so they're around $500. And this is the bag that it comes in. Right, so there's just a little mesh, and that's the actual booster. It's just velcroed in there. So it has a light to show you that there's the light system there, 800 megahertz, 1900. So it's a mobile wireless dual band signal booster. And there's an inside antenna and there's an outside antenna. So it's just a little bar. The inside antenna I have, if it's not in here, I've got a spare one. So that's basically, that's it. That's the inside antenna. And, you know, I can take this Velcro off, the glue, and put this on the back of my phone so that I've got this Velcroed to my phone at all given times. And then I really don't have to hold it in place. The Velcro is doing that. But that's something that you would generally use in the bush. So while you're, you know, I used to work in the oil field and I was out in the middle of nowhere, and you get down to 2 or 3 bars, turn this on, and bingo, you're right back up to 4 or 5. So it's like right down to nothing, you know, to bring you right back. Getting a true signal and you're not cutting in and out all the time. So I like it. It's worked good for me in the past. I bought some of the lower quality ones where they were around like $150. This one's about $500. And those, some guys swore by them, but I didn't have any luck with the $400 ones. They just didn't seem to perform. It didn't seem to do anything when I had the one that I had. Maybe it was just the model. But so this thing has little holes in it throughout the bag. You can see those 2 holes so that you can send the wires through. So it's got a little pouch that you can hold stuff in. Like here, you can put this little power piece in. That's got its own pouch right here, actually. So everything's got its own nice little area and spots for the wires to feed through and everything. So it's kind of nice having the portable unit so that, you know, if you're on the go and you travel a lot and you jump from vehicle to vehicle, this is sweet. You can have a signal booster for your cell phone and literally throw it in your carry-on bag with you if you're to fly on a plane, right? That's the nice thing about it. And really the price between when you buy the Wilson cell phone booster, like I haven't bought one for 5 years or so, or probably a lot longer than that. But when you buy the kit, it's just a few dollars more. I think maybe $50, if not the exact same price as buying just the booster alone. because you got to buy the booster, then you have to buy the antenna, and everything doesn't come together. You have to buy everything separately. This magnet, and this cable, that's a whole different setup, right? When you buy it, so you got to piece everything together, and by the time you piece it all together, you got the bag, you got everything all done for you. So this is probably the better route to go, because with all these cables, like that's a lot of wire, that's a lot of cable, especially, and then this antenna cable, it's a lot of stuff all over the place. It's nice to have little pouches or whatever, pockets, individual pockets. Look at this. I hate this stuff. I try to make a memory out of these, but the stuff is so thin that it's hard for it to memory. And then when it does get wrecked, it's wrecked for good. It sucks. But I got a couple of these. So it's so hard to follow the memory. Wrapping it around my hand. Okay, so yeah, that's that. That's the cell phone booster. Keep bouncing in and out, huh? 1 minute I'm here, the next minute I'm gone, or what? It's probably not nearly as stable as what it was at Starbucks yesterday. It just sticks out that little tiny bit. Still a little tiny bit, the antenna. But yeah, black on black here, everything. Those bags fit perfect right behind the seats, slotted in. So maybe I'll just leave them like that. Let's just stay folded all up together and here it in there. And then when DoorDash, they sign up, I'll get some of their bags and put them on the inside. I think we're gonna have a blast. This is gonna be fun. This is it's gonna be an adventure. So I'm kind of glad that I've come up with this whole idea of streaming. Take you with me everywhere I go. Because trying to work 16 hours on film and then do the editing, it's just not gonna happen. So not that I want this to be my style, but it's the only way that I can bring you guys to me to show you what goes on in my life. Community here and see exactly what happened. Yeah, unstable connection. So yeah, I don't know if that cut off or not, but I stopped talking just in case. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm glad that you guys are with me, and hopefully we can make something out of this. You'll see the adventures that I go through and see if it's worthy enough for you or not. But whatever it is, at least you can live vicariously through me and see what life is like on my end of things. I deal with my challenge, completely new to me, entirely new. I've never done a food delivery service before. I've delivered heavy, a lot more adventurous, and it's not a grid, so it's definitely going to have its challenges. I'm not follow a GPS all the time because it takes you down a lot of the main routes. Take you down some of the quicker routes, but a lot of GPSs will try to stay down the main routes where all the lights are and everything else. And quite often there's other routes that you can take that are a lot quicker. So the sooner a person gets to know their city and the area that they're in, the easier it is for you to get around, and the quicker you will potentially get quick with my skills and knowledge on the city. I've been driving around here, not on a regular solid basis, because obviously some of it's just going to and from work on a short 10 or 15 minute run. but I have been venturing around quite a bit. Unfortunately, this summer I ventured around more in the outskirts in Saanich, but Victoria, it's not going to be that much more to get used to. Just getting to know names. All the streets here are based on, because I've got a few things to take care of for the rest of the day that I can't take you on. So, peace.